Right, we're live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another game of the Sevens, and not just back for another game. It is the Kiwis finally returning to the Sevens circuit. The last time that we did see them in action in the World Sevens, World Sevens Series, it was actually at the Olympics, which has been quite a wee way ago. I'm looking forward to it. At the moment, Scotland. There's one man whose name is certainly in the mouths of a lot of people, and that is Jordan Edmonds, scoring 4 tries so far in this game, 26-14. And I did see the running commentary from Katie. I was quite enjoying it as well for what was happening in this game. I saw there were quite a few people who were enjoying the tiny scrums for that one. But this game, New Zealand versus Argentina. Argentina actually doing very nicely at the Olympics, getting themselves the bronze. New Zealand getting the silver. So both of these sides, they could have a very even contest here, but we'll all look through at the starting lineups and reserves for both of these two lineups. So for New Zealand, they are starting with Sam Dixon, Dylan Collier, Tony Nshu. Then it will also be Joe Webber, Regan Ware, Andrew Newstub, and Moses Leo. So you'd have to argue probably one of the more experienced lineups that they could have put out for this matchup. So they decided that they want to start well, and it's up against a tough Argentine side. So that is exactly why they decided to do so. But off the bench, they have got Haas. Also will be Rocco Lisoa. Alongside him, Kitty Ona Vai. I sometimes mispronounce some of these names, so I do apologize for that. Brady Rush, Leroy Carter as the other two men that they have got off the bench. Then for Argentina for this game, Jermaine Schultz. He's a dangerous man. He's a big, solid unit of an individual. He will be one to watch out for. Then it is going to be De La Vega there as the number 4, Rodrigo Isgro as their fullback. Alongside him, Gaston Revol. Then it is Felipe Del Mestre, Luciano Gonzalez. If you did not see this guy on the 7th circuit recently, he's an absolute tank of an individual. If you try and put him down, he'll put you down twice as hard. And he is just an absolute unit of an individual. Like I mentioned, Wales about to score themselves a try here by the looks of it. Yes, they do. And that is very nicely done. And then Marcos Maneta, the young player nominee of the year, was able to do very nicely. In fact, I think he might have won the Sevens player of the year, Marcos Maneta. He's impressive. He's quick. He's agile. And he's going to be one that Argentina will be going to throughout this game also. Then off the bench, Sabato also will be Julia, I think it is. Then Verefeld, Fraga, and also it is De La Vega coming off the bench, and that is Felipe De La Vega, but that kick has missed out to the side. It's currently the difference between these two sides of 7 with 1 minute and a little bit left, so the draw could be on the cards here, depending on how well they go for Wales in the later stages of that game. But after that game is finished, we're straight into this game between New Zealand and Argentina. The next game that we will be covering of the Sevens will be Australia versus Samoa, which is actually the return of Samoa in the Sevens, and that is going to be taking place at about 3:50, I believe it is. That ball's going to be back on the side of Wales. Nicely done here. It's still going to be available for them. Just currently 50 seconds left. They're trying to get themselves towards a draw, and a draw would really, I guess you could say, really mess up Pool C for both of these sides, depending on how it goes. We could see Argentina and New Zealand possibly as the two sides who are able to make their way through, as they are the 4 groups or the 4 teams in Pool B. Wales is looking quite open for them. This might actually be a very good opportunity for them to be able to go into the corner, and they do. Wales there. And also, did someone drop a bag of Doritos in the middle of the field? I believe it was ice, from what they said, but the referee was a bit concerned about it. He was like, why is there a whole heap of random objects on the field? But yeah, I think someone dropped their ice bag. That was close to going over, but it's just missed. There are currently 5 seconds left in this game. Scotland, they will look to just kick this ball out when they do get that opportunity to. Currently, been pretty good throughout the early stage for both of these sides, both in try-scoring mode, which does mean more than likely when New Zealand and Argentina have to play off against these sides, it could be relatively close games, just like this one. But currently, Wales, they are going to be kicking this one off if it is taken by Scotland, which it is. He runs it into touch, and that is going to be the end of the game. And Wales now, they were just short of being able to beat the Scottish, but it was Jordan Edmonds who was the key for them. But now looking through at this next game, New Zealand versus Argentina, it is finally here. Sam Dixon. It's been a long time since we've seen him in action for the Sevens. I believe the last time we saw him was actually for Canterbury in the Bunnings NBC. He was one of the standouts in that 4-pack. Alongside him, a couple players that are missing for this one. They don't have Kurt Baker here for this tournament. They don't have Mickelson. They don't have Tom Curry in there as well, which is probably another big one. Oh, sorry, Tom Curry, Scott Curry, I think is his name. I always get myself confused with the Curry brothers because there's a Scott, there's a Tom, He's not actually brothers with the ones from England, I should mention. And then there's also another fella who also has the last name Curry. Michael Curry? No, don't know. One of them's about somewhere. And also we got that 10 out of 10. That was fantastic. Very close game. Well, they won, and now we get to see New Zealand ranked 19th at the moment take on Argentina, who are currently ranked 2nd. So it's actually going to be, I guess, New Zealand coming in as the underdogs, even though I believe in all betting odds they are actually the favourites to be able to go on and win this one. But Sam Dixon leading out the Kiwis, and Raval leading out the Los Pumas side for their Sevens tournament. Once again, they have certainly got the potential of being able to win this game. And I see that it is I think it's a little van, a DHL van that they've got that runs the ball out onto the field, or at least maybe has the ball in the back of it. I'm not too sure how it works there. And also that car says Katie Dixon. Yeah, they seem to always have awesome remote controls at the ground, and it makes me just want to go to the ground and get to control one of them. I feel like, did you guys see that game for this? I think it was the Super League with the, I'm just thinking of it, the one that was, it was a Super League game, and they allowed a young girl to drive out the car to deliver the ball, and she couldn't find the brake and just kept on driving past the players. If you haven't seen that clip, I do recommend it. It's quite funny. But Jordan Way in charge of this one. We are about to be underway for this game between New Zealand and also the Argentine side, the Pumas. They will be kicking off here, the Pumas. New Zealand, they want to start this tournament well. It's been a long time since we've seen them in action. Gaston Raval looking like he's calling his shots there. Unless the Kiwis speak Spanish, they will have no idea what he just said. But I believe he said we're going to kick it off high to the left-hand side. We're underway. It's not quite taken cleanly by Jermaine Schultz, and now it's in the hands of the Kiwi, and it's taken by Dylan Collier. Now Weber passing it across, and it seems like the Kiwis trying to start this one quick with their backline movement down the wing. It's going to be close to the touchline. Now just staying in the field of play and shoot. They want g'day all Amish. And there's our welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. And also, howdy, hey, brother, New Zealand flags. And they've got Regan Ware with another little carry forward. Like they're saying, they met last time in December 2019. It's been a while. Offload game from New Zealand, not quite working out for them. And now the ball in the hands of Argentina. Raval goes back across here. And they are going to get themselves a nice early start. Marcos Mineta. In fact, it's Luciano Gonzalez who has got that one in first try in 39 seconds. And there as well, says Paddy Wagon now out the back line. Raval passes it off to Marcos Mineta. Good fend on him. And it is going to be now, and Shu was able to drag him down. Raval goes back across to Jermaine Schultz, running it sideways. Little loop around here. And it's looking good for Argentina. Everyone falls. And Luciano Gonzalez does score that try for the Kiwis. No, sorry, he's for the Pumas, I should say. And the Kiwis are down now by 5 points. Luciano Gonzalez scores the first try. I believe it was that tackle that the Kiwis tried to attempt just a little bit prior that about 2 or 3 of the players actually ended up falling down. And then from there, Luciano Gonzalez, even if there was a player in front of him, probably would have gone straight over the top. But it's going to be the try for Argentina, not the start to the Sevens tournament that the Fijians or the Kiwis will be wanting if they do end up losing this game and also try Argentina. Here's Katie Dixon for that one. And yeah, it's Luciano Gonzalez. I mentioned about him before the game, how important he is for them. And he is certainly a beast of an individual. We haven't seen him in the union format, I don't believe, for Argentina. But I would say if he keeps on playing the way that he is in the Sevens, he might not be a mile off. Same with Marcos Mineta. We were actually going to see him play for the Barbarians up against Samoa, but sadly that game did end up getting cancelled last minute. In fact, it was about an hour or two before. Well taken in the air by Sam Dixon. Very silky. Brother man also tried to try. And there as well, says David the Mod. Now Joe Weber passes it off to Inshu. Just not the best pass though. And Argentina get themselves the penalty in the breakdown. Now Raval takes a quick tap. He's going to be charging straight at the line. Passes it off. This is danger for the Kiwis. Close to the line was De La Vega. But it's a huge hit on him. Trying to turn it over. Unable to do so there for Tony Inshu. Russian forward, Argentina, no. Half an inch short of the line, and it's a penalty to New Zealand. Great goal line defence from New Zealand there. And they were so close to being able to go straight over the line, but Sam Dixon looks like he is considering kicking this one for the touchline. Yes, they are. And return to the HSBC Sevens, a series for the first time since Vancouver 2020. And so it's been quite a while, and also we did see them at the Tokyo 2021 Olympics. Was the last time that we did actually get to see the Kiwis in action. So it's been quite some time. Andrew Newstub here He's got himself the line out throw. 3 minutes 50 left in the first half. New Zealand do throw that one, and it's taken nicely there by Sam Dixon, taken out in the air as the call. A little bit of obstruction, possibly grabbing the arm, and now the Kiwis will once again be able to kick it down the field just a little bit more. Moment Argentina, we've seen that they have got a pretty good gas tank on them. They are able to go for the full 14 minutes, and with a couple of their subs that they've got, Sabato and also Felipe de la Vega in particular, I feel that they will be able to keep that tempo throughout a game. But the Kiwis have also been known for their fitness in the past, although an 86% humidity and hot temperatures in Singapore, it's going to be wearing down on both sides by the end of the day. Newstub throws it in, taken nicely by Dixon there. And the line out a lot more clean for New Zealand that time than the last time. Joe Webber now running through. He's got a bit of toe, Joe Webber. He's got actually an almost clean cut head at this stage. He normally has a random haircut. That's going to be Sam Dixon down the wing. Does end up scoring it. And it is a good try to get for the captain, Sam Dixon. And now the Kiwis back into the match. That is his first try for the Singapore Sevens. The first try for New Zealand since returning. Newstub initially had that offload out to Joe Webber. And like I mentioned, he normally, I think last year for Bay of Plenty, he had all the dreads going off in all sorts of different angles, but it wasn't actually just the dreads. It was actually the dreads at the back of the head, nowhere else. And also try to New Zealand. And there was us, Scotty Dixon also. That's better. Let's go. It's going to be a tricky enough kick. And he's missed it. It's gone away to the left-hand side, so it will remain at 5-5 now between these two sides. And like they're saying, Sam Dixon, he was unable to compete in Tokyo, unfortunately, due to a hamstring injury. He did actually play for Canterbury in the Bunnings NBC more recently, and he was looking good for them, and now he looks like he's going to be bringing that level of skill to the Sevens circuit. Kicked off short by Newstub. Just goes over the 10-metre line. Jermaine Schultz has now got it, and he is marked up by his opposite number. In fact, I think that was actually the number 9 for this one, which will be Regan Ware, who was rocking a new haircut compared to the last time that we did end up seeing him. But now passing it across, it's Isgro trying to go through, but he is tackled well by Joe Webber. Ball bouncing out the side. That's a little knock-on from Jermaine Schultz. That is a knock-on. Yep, they are going back for the scrum now, and oh yeah, we have the same last name. That means we're definitely related in there. So here's Katie Dixon also really well done. Katie Dixon, cousin Sam, try. And there is maybe eventually like down the chain, you know, who knows? Maybe he's taken one of those, what is it, Ancestry DNA kits. And maybe you've got like a little link up. And wouldn't that be funny if we were actually related in there, says Katie Dixon? It would be. I think it's spelled the same way, which is a good start, because I know that sometimes Dixon can be spelled slightly differently, can't it? So you're at least got that in common. Currently now, just a little bit of a talking to from the referee, Jordan Wade, just saying you guys aren't quite doing this the way that you need to. Make sure you sort it out, because I don't want to have to reset you 5 times. Newstub puts the ball in for the Kiwis. Now Joe Webber going back across. Regan Ware, nice little overlap here. This is going to be a try for the Kiwis, and it is Moses Leo. Oh, careful now. He almost went too far in the in-goal area, but he does end up scoring it. Therefore, Moses Leo on debut does end up getting the try. Now the New Zealanders have been able to take the lead right at the end of the first half here as well. And yeah, maybe we have a common ancestor. I'm convinced that Joe Marler and Ringo Starr have a common ancestor, and I'm going to do a whole video about it on my channel in there as well. So Joe Marler, Ringo Starr, quite the combo. Imagine them on like back in the day, a talk show with Ringo Starr, Joe Marler. I feel like it would be pretty hectic. That's a good kick. And now it does make the score a total of 12 points to 5 going into the second half. So Argentina may have scored the first try, but then New Zealand, they were able to score themselves the next 2 in this game. Really starved the Pumas of possession in the later stages of that first half, which did kind of help out with the way that they went. Those ancestry DNA kits are awesome. Found out I have a Scandinavian ancestry in there as well, says David. There you go. I feel like it would be an interesting one to do. I wonder where George would end up with. I think he said German for himself. I think he's got German ancestors, if I'm not wrong. I don't know where I'm from, like in terms of ancestors. We thought Scotland because my name sounded Scottish. I guess my last name's also slightly Scottish for that one. But yeah, we're not too sure. We'll have to do that one day. Find out whereabouts I am actually originally connected. You know, Currently, tackles made 6 by New Zealand, 2 by Argentina. No missed tackles for either sides, 2 line breaks for the Kiwis. That's actually quite a low number of tackles, I believe, for a game. But also passes completed, 15 for the Kiwis, 12 for Argentina. And just 1 error for both sides. As you can tell there, I was trying not to yawn, and I almost ended up yawning anyway. But Marcos Maneta, relatively quiet in that first half. Also, Luciano Gonzalez, we did see him when he scored the try. But other than that, I don't think they really had the ball enough. And let's not bring the 2 walls up in front of George. And as I says, David the Mod, I mean, he'll bring them up instead. Like, he is an uncensored individual. As you guys possibly know, anytime he starts going on like a rant about anything like political or anything like that, I just sit here going, where's he going with this? And then luckily sometimes it doesn't lead to anything, and I'm like, okay, good. But then some of the times it goes somewhere and I'm like, are we going to get cancelled? Currently they are just showing all of the coming up games that we have got. The next game that we are covering on the channel will be Australia versus Samoa. It should be a very exciting fixture. And then after that, we've got Super Rugby. 3 games worth of Super Rugby will be taking place. And we'll be covering all 3 of them on the channel. But that is Marcos Maneta. He has taken that one on the 22 now. De La Vega going back across here. Raval. Quick hands from Schultz into the hands of Isgro. Currently, the All Blacks 7 side working hard for this game, trying to get themselves their first win in a long time. It's a good backline movement though. Marcos Maneta, he goes himself there for Luciano Gonzalez. He's just been kind of thrown. And that one he went quite far, and I think he got knocked on the back of the head by Raval. Now on to Jermaine Schultz. The drawn pass, he messes it up, and that was the chance. Raval now goes back. They've still got possession here for Los Pumas. Good step. Low one. Offload to Jermaine Schultz. He goes over, and I think they're going to be checking this one. I'd like to say that he got that one down, and George is awesome. He pushes the boundaries. He certainly does. He pushes the boundaries of what is allowed and what is not allowed to be said. And even if he crosses it, like the next sentence is just back to normal pretty much. Like, I think it's just like having a processor that always enjoys that kind of edge. Okay, they've said it is going to be a try for Argentina. You know, it's like say the words first and then go afterwards. Maybe that wasn't the best thing to say, but oh well, I've said it now. So it's all good. Which makes our old recordings quite an interesting one. Got some interesting clips. Currently now Argentina, they need this kick to go over. And they wait to take it. And he does take it. And he strikes it just away to the right-hand side. And it's his Aries best there as I says Katie Dixon. But now they scored 10 points to Argentina, 12 for New Zealand. Currently 5 minutes left, but try possession. They had 12 passes in a row and also beaten a few defenders. Now I'm at currently now. It will be Raval once again about to kick this one off. Not keen on the yawns. We don't want to have them already. We're only on the second live stream of about 8 taken. Not quite cleanly there by Dixon that time. To go backwards. Now it's gone forward and it's a knock on. And now Argentina will have the scrum feed. And also we have got there. Okay. And there's us, says David. We're currently last 3 errors. We've seen 2 from New Zealand. That's the first error of the second half that we have seen. And it looks like sub Moses Leo's going to be taken off the field. Corey says hi as well. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. But I believe that is Leroy Carter now, number 10, who is making himself known on the field. Yes, it is. And it is going to also be Leroy Carter's not who I thought he was. I just realised. I thought Leroy Carter played for Bay of Plenty in the Bunnings NBC, but I don't think it's actually the same bloke. I think that's a different Leroy. Currently now backline movement here by Argentina. Marcos Maneta dragged down 25 metres out. He's at my house and controversial by nature. And there's us, there's Katie Dixon. Now it's going to be a Raval. Good run straight sideways, just trying to link up with someone on the outside. Now he's found a good pass. Trying to drive 40 Argentina with De La Vega to get a couple extra meters there. Now Schultz, the wide sling and pass doesn't work out. New Zealand can't overcommit to that though. Luciano Gonzalez now running straight sideways. Boom! Fins off Andrew Newstub, and it's going to be the penalty as well. I believe that is for the no arms wrap. And also we need to watch the game, please. Says Cornelio. What country are you in, mate? Do let me know, because it is on the World Rugby YouTube channel in a lot of countries. So be sure to check that out. It will be pretty much played throughout the whole day. And also, if it isn't showing live, you can actually watch it on World Rugby for the replay of the game. And actually, all of the games that do take place for each day, that's normally about maybe an hour after the day finishes. So about midnight New Zealand time, they will all be up on there to be able to see the replays of every single match. And also, we have got to remember my sister. My sister has the same B-day as his. Back in the day when she was his age, she straight up stealing my and my mum's debit cards right out of our purses. Controversial by nature. Jeez. She at least buys something useful with them. Probably not. Not saying George would ever do that, just saying. And there's Katie Dixon. And go to the New Zealand Warriors. They managed to get themselves the win. And as soon as I saw it was Golden Point, I knew that I couldn't watch that game because last time I flicked over to watch a Golden Point game for the Warriors, they lost about 30 seconds later in Golden Point. So I was like, right, we're not watching it. And we're going to find out that they win at the end. That's going to be another penalty to New Zealand there. And currently, the momentum shift is slowly going in favour of New Zealand here for the final 3 minutes of the game. Andrew Newstub going to be kicking this one for the touchline. Will be taking his time. As I don't know, New Zealand are looking, I guess that's the thing, Argentina, they're still pretty fresh, I would argue, and they have been a little bit more consistent on the Sevens series for the last little while, hence why they are rated actually second out of everyone. The only team in front of them, the Blitzboks, who have been undefeated for their last 34 matches, the second longest in history. Really throwing it to the back there. It's going to be wonky, not straight through. And now it is going to be Argentina who have got themselves the scrum feed. And also we've got that so interesting astrology in there as well, says David the Mod. Sam Dixon just doesn't quite get that one to him straight from Regan Weir to get the HBS. Oh, no, I've already got the app. I was wondering what was going on. They were like, get this, and I thought it was some sort of competition. But now Brady Rush out on the field. Also, it is going to be Rokoli Soa coming out, and that is going to be for Andrew Newstub and also Joe Weber as the two replacements. Argentina, I don't believe, have made a huge amount of subs as of yet, other than this man at number 9. He's got plenty of strapping on that right leg, so hopefully there's no injury there. The referee was just about to blow his whistle, but decided against it in the end. I'm a student of astrology. I think it's fascinating in there, but now going to be a nice step. Currently waiting for their opportunity to pounce here for Los Pumas. If they get through, it would be huge for them. Jermaine Schultz running sideways. Now going back across. They are just outside of their 22 here. Argentina, De La Vega. Back across. Good tackle made by the Kiwis. I believe that would have been actually Brady Rush, who has only been out on the field for a very short amount of time. Argentina looking a bit stagnant in their attack, but now it's starting to open up. They've got space on the outside if they can cut through. There's Marcos Maneta. In fact, sorry, it is actually the number 12 for this one, which is Sabato. And also New Zealand. From Katie, backline movement. This is looking good for Argentina. Schultz steps a couple times. Tries to find the offload. Unable to find it, though, on the halfway line by Argentina, as they continue to try and find that gap in the New Zealand defence, which has been tricky enough to do, but now breaking 3 tackles, finding the offload. This is the perfect time to attack, but it's a good tackle made by Leroy Carter. Now counter ruck from the Kiwis, 40 out from their own line. Argentina, it's phase after phase, and they just don't quite be able, or don't seem to be able to get through one-on-one defence. He's gone too high, but he has still been able to make the tackle on Sabato there, for it was Rocco Lisoa. Going back across Argentina, just taking a little bit more time, making sure that they can eventually get themselves over the try line. Good backline movement. Flick on the inside. It's put down by Argentina. And that would have been the chance. But it was just a little knock on. But I think they're actually... Oh, dangerous tackle. It's actually going to be a penalty going the way of Argentina. It looks like maybe Iskra is quite injured. And it looks like now there is a yellow card for the Kiwis, who made it, I think. No, that wasn't it. Okay, so Sam Dixon made the tackle. Okay, they've said that it was a little bit late, I believe, which is why he has been sin ball. And also, yeah, that tackle was yikes in there as well. But now he is going to be in the sin bin for 2 minutes here for Isgro. Right, what happens here? So he tackled him just above the horizontal and also a little bit late from Sam Dixon. So because of it now, it could have cost the side the game. And now I don't see why. And there's, now it's going to be interesting to see whether or not Argentina, with the man advantage at the end of the game, they need to make sure that no handling error does end up coming in and also played him like a guitar and smoked him like a cigar in there. So here's Katie Dixon, but currently now Isgro just getting a little bit of attention. Game between England and Spain is kicking off in 3 minutes' time, but we will not be covering that one. The next game that we have got on the channel is going to be Australia versus Samoa, and that is only taking place in a very short amount of time also. So if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're going to be back live tomorrow for all the quarterfinals, semi-finals, you name it. We're going to be covering it for the Sevens. Currently now, what do Argentina do here? They're going for goal. They want to draw. I believe, wait, no, this is worth 3. If he gets it, he hasn't got it. And now it's going to be kicked into Dutch. That is the end of the game. And New Zealand win it. Right. Okay, that was strange. That was very strange of why Argentina decided to try and go for the drop kick penalty. They lose. Surely you just throw everything at the line and you give it one last go. You've got a man advantage. 7-6. Okay, well, New Zealand will take it. They'll take the win every day of the week, but it's a bit of a gift for the All Blacks Sevens to be able to get out of that game with a win. But yeah, tactically, I'm not too sure about that one. And today has been a day of weird rugby. There's Katie Dixon. Yeah, I'm quite stumped with that decision. But it works in favour of the Kiwis because Argentina have pretty much just said, yeah, have the win. And now they will be building themselves up. And I believe they will be actually drawn for first in this group. But it was a very big, quick start to this matchup for both of these sides. But nonetheless, that is going to be the end of this live stream. And it was in the end Sam Dixon and Moses Leo who scored the 2 tries for the Kiwis. And then also Luciano Gonzalez and Jermaine Schultz. And that good game, lads. Why did they go for the kick? I have no idea. The Leinster game was extra weird. And there's Katie Dixon. But yeah, you had a man advantage. It was 6 of the All Blacks up against 7 of the Pumas. You've got pacey individuals. And you go for the 3. Yes, it was like, it would have been a good decision if it went over. But that was a tough kick. It was a long way out. And also, thanks for the stream, man. Says Katie Dixon. The worst thing is the time just went out. And then New Zealand kicked it out and said, thanks very much. Cheers. We'll pay you later, but nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. Like I mentioned, next one, Australia versus Samoa. That is coming up in about 20 or so minutes' time. And then after that, we have got more Super Rugby. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Good call, Hamish. I'm going to be busy and Super Rugby tonight. So this Brandon, no worries at all, mate. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all for the next one.